got this going. It only took me about 50 times. I'm here today cleaning my van, and I thought I would go over kind of what I'm doing and the plan because I quit my job. I'm 54 and I quit my job, and I'm gonna go travel in my van. I have been traveling in my van. I've had it it'll be 3 years into May. So that's one thing I recommend anybody who is wanting to do this kind of thing. It's not for everybody. The idea is really great, but practical application and what you are happy with and can tolerate for an extended period of time can be different for everybody. So I recommend whatever you're doing to try it first before you make any drastic changes. In my case, I had a really bad year. I spent 6 months of last year doing a fully second job at a higher level, of course with zero pay, because that's how it is now, and still doing my normal job as well as somebody who else retired that was at a very higher level than me, portions of that job too. I'm really good at multitasking. I'm really good at absorbing other jobs. I've done it pretty much my whole life. Sometimes I think it's my fault because I'm a yes person. I have a hard time saying no. But it really burnt me out. During that same time, I had an elderly dog. She turned 15 in April of last year, 2025. She was sick, very sick. She seems to have had a very negative reaction to that flea pill where it gave her massive seizures. She couldn't recover because she already had severe cardiovascular disease and was on a lot of meds, and we lost her at the end of June. I also had my youngest child. I have 3 girls, 3 beautiful girls, and my youngest went to college and didn't come home. She stayed there with a boy. Which is great for her. That's how life is supposed to be, but it was very hard for me. All of these things together, I managed to make it through all that, but unfortunately, a new supervisor came, if you will, and I kept trying to make that get better, and it just didn't. And on top of everything else, it was just time to go and do something else. And so I did, but it was crazy. I had a very good job. I had very good benefits and retirement, a little bit of retirement. That's not the biggest thing. Actually, the biggest thing was the vacation time. And since I like to travel, that was really great. And I had just gotten to 6 weeks of vacation a year. So I left that, something that people would have suffered through gladly to have, and I don't minimize that I was very fortunate that I had that job, and I'm also very fortunate that I could quit that job and not be eating cat food. So that's something to consider. So what did I do to prep for my quitting? Some of this I had kind of planned already. It kind of kept me going through that year. Having, what I'm going to do. I'm just going to quit, and what am I going to do? It was kind of like therapy, how you get through something. So for me, obviously I already had the van. That was an evolution that I'll go through maybe in another video on how I started doing what I'm doing, because it wasn't young. I was in my mid-40s. And I bought an adventure membership through 1,000 Trails, and that was pricey. It was something I had to do while I was still working. I bought it used. It's a lifetime membership, so I can't resell it. But I also didn't pay as much for it as you would if you bought it new. You can look now, they're by subscription. They don't sell the lifetime memberships anymore. And I'm fairly young still, I'm 54, so I wanted to have something that I could use for a very long time. And one nice thing about it is one of the campgrounds I have access to is kind of halfway, a little over halfway between my daughter and I. And it allows me to stay by her, fairly close to her, to visit. So, not to mention it's all over. It's mostly the coast, so the East Coast, West Coast. There's not a lot in the center of the United States. I think Colorado has one. And then it goes in a little bit farther from the coast on the East Coast than it does on the West Coast. But there's lots of campgrounds. There's lots of places to go. I haven't traveled the East Coast at all, so I could spend probably a decade just going to the East Coast. I always joke that I could spend probably the rest of my life touring the western half of the U.S. and not see everything. Because I try really hard, and I feel like I just barely touch it. There's just so much to see. Plus, there's places you go to that you just go there a day, and you're like, my goodness, I'd love to come back here for a couple weeks. So it's a hard balance there. But so I did those two things. I saved a little bit of money, and I paid off a student loan I took from my youngest daughter to pay for her housing. Where she went to school, the housing was very expensive. And so I had a loan for each year she was down there, and I paid one of them. So I still have the other one, but I couldn't have quit if I'd had both. So I paid one off. I put every penny towards it for since May of last year, and it's gone. And then I have a little bit of money saved, and I'm fortunate enough that if I'm very, very careful, I could probably do this for a little bit. So one of the biggest things is just that you don't have any money. You quit your job. How do you pay everything? I'm on a very strict budget that I created, and I ran it. Actually, I ran off that budget for a month prior to putting in my notice. I had already done that. I was planning on putting in my notice since I realized it wasn't going to get any better, but I wasn't really planning to go when I did. The longer I stayed, the more things I could get paid off, specifically the other student loan. I don't have any credit card debt, so that's something that I already have going for me. That's good. I basically have a loan and the van payment, and that's it. So since my children are grown, the youngest, which would have continued to need support, moved out, so doesn't need support. But my two eldest, one's 31 and one's going to be 28 this year. They are self-sustaining, so I live kind of in a situation where everybody pays their way like a roommate. We lease where we're at. We don't own it. And it works out really well. It makes it so the amount of money I need to have is less, even though I live in a very high cost of living area. But there's, 4 of us paying in there. So it's been, it'll be okay, at least for a while. And I am only 54, so I can always go get another job if I run out of money. But I'm hoping that if I am very, very careful with my budget and thoughtful in my choices, even for travel, that I'll be able to do this long enough to get the joy out of it I'm looking for. I think a lot of us, you are tied down with kids and family, and there's nothing better than that. There really, truly isn't. But there is sometimes things that you want to do for yourself that you just never have time for. And boy, do I love to travel. I didn't know that I love to do it so much. I'll do a video on that, like I said, at another time. But It's pretty amazing to have this opportunity, even if there are sacrifices involved. And there are sacrifices. I just gave up a very well-paying job and future retirement for the moment, for now. But I'm hoping it was the correct choice. And I think we go through life making choices like that. Maybe they turn out good and maybe they turn out bad, but I can't really imagine, given the time of my life I'm in, that this is a bad choice. It just may not have been the best one, but it was the best one for me at the time. So I couldn't go on the way I was going on. I'm a cheerful, happy person. I don't let a lot get to me. And boy, oh boy, was that a lot. So it got to me. Apparently I do have a limit to what I can do. So van cleaning is quite a bummer. It's kind of like everything. The fun part is doing the adventuring, but cleaning up afterwards. And I'm not, you know, I use everything. Everything gets dirty, everything gets used. I shower in here, use the toilet. I suppose I can talk about that some other time. There's storage all over the place. This right here, I'm currently dumping the water out of my fresh water tank to refill it before I leave on a small trip. And I don't like the water sitting in there for very long because it gets gross. And where the water is, there's this little thing, and it's a perfect size to hold toilet paper. So I use these Who Gives a Crap, because they're wrapped, specifically for this, because I like to keep them covered. Always gotta have your wipes. And sometimes I'll put some other random things in here. So it holds a bunch, you can see. And this just fits under the seats that I'm on right now, and underneath there, as well as where the water heater, it's like a water heater system called a Truma, and all the water lines to empty the tank. So I'm only emptying the fresh water tank right now. I don't empty the, at least not right this time. I'm not emptying the hot water tank, because I can put that up to super hot and kill anything that's in it. So that's what I'm going to do for that. And then we're going to just continue to clean through here. But I needed something kind of to occupy my brain now that I'm not occupying it with quitting. And I used to run a countdown, and I would every day countdown. I checked that thing 20 times a day. And as, once again, kind of like a therapy to get me through a time where I was having a rough time of it. And now what do? I keep opening that countdown, and there's no reason to open it anymore. So what am I going to do now? I figure I'll just maybe follow along on my travels. I kept an Instagram called TravelswithAl that starts from right about when I was going to get my first trailer. So I'd bought a truck, missed that truck so much. I'd bought a truck, and we got a little trailer, and it starts there, but there's no people in it. So there's never, there's my dog's in it. Gotta love the dogs. My dog who passed away, her name was Evie, and she's in it, but I kept everybody out of it all the way up until the last post I just did. I actually have one photo hidden in there of me sitting next to our new puppy that we got. Her name is Dolly, and she's 6 months old. We call her Dolly Kaiju. I don't know if you've had a doodle puppy, but my goodness, it's like having a little monster in your house. So her nickname is actually Dolly Kaiju. And that was the first photo I put of myself on that Instagram. It was mostly just, you know, to show pretty things and follow along, so I could pull things up for people when I wanted to show them where I'd gone without, you know, going through my phone. So yeah, I figured I'd use YouTube as a way to just kind of follow along on my adventures and how this is working and see how it goes. And also to give me something to occupy my brain. I'm gonna have to learn how to attach this microphone. I have a microphone. Hopefully you can even hear me on this YouTube, but I actually bought this little microphone thing. So I gotta open that up and figure out how to attach it. I'll have to figure out how to put all these little video clips together, because it's very hard to not lose your train of thought when you're making these, apparently. So I've had about 500 stops and starts already, and so now I have to figure out how to put all that together. So that should keep your brain active. I don't want to start losing brain. The job I had, I used a lot of brain, so I need something to kind of replace that, to make sure that I keep sharp. And that's it. So maybe in my next one I will do a tour of the van, and then I do have an upcoming trip. I'm gonna go down to the Anza Borrega area for 2 days with my daughter, and I've been there a few times now. The wildflowers could be blooming, we'll see, but maybe I'll do a video there too. So thank you so much, and if you want to continue following along, do that like, subscribe, notification thing that everybody always asks you to do, and we'll keep going. But I'm gonna put right here at the very end of my video the shocked moment where I walked out of my job for the last time and sat in my car as a little bonus feature, because I recorded it. It was such a huge thing. It's a huge thing. It's a huge thing to just quit your job. We're taught that we need to work until we're 70 years old, and we need to have all these things and new cars, and I have a very nice van. It's not a top of the line model, but it certainly costs quite a bit, and I drive an old used Fiat. So sometimes you just gotta realize you can only have so many things. So but yeah, thank you, and here's the video of when I quit. I just left my job. This was it. This was the last day. I just truly can't believe it. I'd had a bad year, and I was in a position that not everybody's in, where I have enough money saved and resources, just enough, that if I'm very, very careful with a very strict budget, I can quit this job and get myself into a little bit of a happier spot. It was a very good job. I enjoyed working here for quite a while. I was here 10 years. But as sometimes happens, there was a big regime change, and a lot of the things, they had me working 2 positions for 6 months, and it's just everything everybody goes through. But I happened to be 54 and I just was done. I kept waiting for it to get better, and I swear every day it got worse. So we did it, and guess what? I quit my job, and I'm gonna go travel in my camper van. So I just wanted to give an up moment recording of the moment that I'm done.